Yeah, what's poppin'? You already know what it is, so we'll get straight to this work. So you all know how I feel about signs, symbols, and synchronicities. So this morning, as I got up to drink my morning cup of Bustelo before I headed downtown to 120 Broadway so that I could get footage for the Phipps housing vote, I've been going back and forth in my mind about this whole situation going on with Members First Community Slate and the individuals that have entered my life in the last few months. So, you know, Kevin and I have been talking about this, AKA Gullah. And first off, I want to say that I actually owe my brother an apology because when this whole quote unquote side quest started, he was wholly against it and said we needed to focus on what we was focusing on with NYU. Now, I know people just don't like the truth. So we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty and the truth of why I'm about to say what I'm gonna say and what that means down the road. What it actually means is up to you. But you go back 4 years, and from day one, I've always said transparency forces accountability. I've said everything from etch it in my tombstone, eyes to the stars, head on the swivel, but I have always said transparency forces accountability. In the last video, I was very clear about identity politics and people thinking that just because you belong to a certain group means that they get a pass to play in your face. I have been very, very open about everything that I do because I believe that you have to reveal the method because that's how this works. Now, that said, let's talk about contracts and covenants, right? Now we want to universal law and the Hermetic principles. Now, I want everybody to think, and you know who I'm talking to, right? Kevin and I did not go out of our way. We made the sacrifice already. I lost my job for standing on what I knew was right. I saw what was happening to my peers and what NYU was doing and what the union was doing, which was absolutely nothing. So under the Whistleblower Act and utilizing the one-party recording state law, I got receipts so that I could prove what was going on. And since that time, I have been going through the long, drawn-out process to get that done. So about 4 or 5 months ago, people came to me. Now, the way I was raised is that everyone in the village takes care of the village. And when a stranger comes to your village, you show them hospitality. So when the stranger came to me, or strangers saying that we need help and this is why, I said, you know what? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. We had an alike or an aligning issue. So to me, it made sense. However, Spirit told me what it was. But I believe in giving people the benefit of the doubt because they have freedom of choice. Now back to revealing the method. I've always said from the jump how I feel and why. Because the whole POC coalition is playing out in real time. As everyone calls us racist and xenophobic as Black Americans, we see the disrespect that's going on. And as these politicians from the Democratic Socialist of America Party are telling you, when they get power back, they are drafting up legislation for reparations for the illegals that just got here during the last administration. Those that are claiming false asylum claims, messing it up for all the other immigrants who have been here over the years and did it the right way. But as I've shown you with the figures in the 57%, that affects you on every level of life. It affects you politically because these people like Ilhan Omar and Jaya Patel, naturalized citizens, are now creating legislation that works against Black Americans.
This harm need to be prosecuted. They need to be brought before us and they need to be held account for the trauma that they have created, and we are going to have some form of reparation for the kids and the families that have been traumatized through all of this. They need to be brought before us and they need to be held account for the trauma that they have created, and we are going to have some form of reparation for the kids and the families that have been traumatized through all of this.
That last part where she said that we got to have some form of reparations. Okay. For the immigrants. All right. So this is what the Democrats are suggesting now, Black voters, that you come in this country, you overstay visas, you come in this country, your TPS expired, you just snuck in the country, right? You didn't have none of those programs. Your green card expired and you're still in the country and they told you need to leave America. And then they catch up to you and say, hey, you don't have a legal right to be here, so we're going to detain you and deport you out of the United States of America. What the Democrat Party is saying is that Well, because of that enforcement on these people, we need to give them reparation cash. We need cash money, right? Cash money to the people. Notice she didn't say we need to do a study. Notice she didn't say a study. Notice she didn't say we need to have meetings and all of this. No. She's mentioning prosecutions, and she's mentioning money. Now, Black America, just hearing that, and she's a ranking member, as you can clearly see, hearing that, you should be greatly, greatly offended.
When you are creating legislation to take care of an outside population who's never put into the system, but we've been putting into it since the 1500s, it's dishonest. It's dishonest. It's intellectually dishonest. And for those of you that watch these things and you support them, and then you think that I'm crazy or wild for speaking on the obvious, that itself is a form of Stockholm Syndrome, and it's wild to me as well. But back to the covenants. Because sorry, I'm getting all over the place. Should have wrote this down. But anyways, back to the covenants. When you came to me with the deal. And I want to be very specific. You said we are prepared to do and share X, Y, Z so that we can reach this. What would you like in return? This was a agreement, a contract, a covenant. Now, what you required or asked of me, I delivered. No questions asked, and I did it immediately. But at no point did anyone ever ask, well, what is it that we can do for you on our end? Which is fine. But my thing is that you never complete a contract until you know what you owe on the back end. And again, back to revealing the method. I told everyone from the jump. You watched what NYU staff and executives all did to me. From Deborah Newman, John Salvatore, Jennifer Gallinaro, Fiona Moore, all the way to Jose LaBlaca. And you see how he played the POC coalition game. You know what I'm saying? Because we black and brown peoples. And the man always coming for us, brother.
But I knew all about her. Mm-hmm. I came from the Brooklyn campus.
Oh, right.
So when I heard that, that's how I knew that she used to work with Marcia and them. I always knew Marcia and them, but by high and by.
Yeah.
And Austin, I used to work with. And when I remember when that happened.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was you, bro.
Yeah. She went to Austin. I think Austin for years.
We got a plaque on HR and all that shit. It's interesting because when I go back and tell the girls, guess who I was with today? Then I'm like, oh shit, I was there.
Yes, I am.
So, contrary to believe, I'm actually pretty cool. So the angry black man thing don't work with me. And the Spanish girl thing don't work with me. I don't see color at work. I don't play that shit. I want you to know that.
No.
I'm gonna keep it 110 with you. I don't play the angry black dude because they play the angry Spanish dude with me too. I know anything that comes out of our mouth will be used against us.
She knows that.
Angry.
She knows that is
the words.
I'm not certain she even knows that she's Hispanic, Hamadi. Don't even get me started. So, I'm keeping 100 with you. Stay away from her.
But you see what he did and how he treated his own people, because as he said, she's Colombian. Does she even know if she's Hispanic? But these are the games these people play. This is why I reveal the method and I give my stance up front so that you know out the gate what I will tolerate and what I will not tolerate. But when you make the conscious decision to play in my face and disrespect me and then act like you're not when I warn you multiple times, and I've recorded it because we were conducting business and I knew that this was going to come to fruition. So, just like I had to do with them, I had to protect myself from what I knew was coming in the future, because you think that that identity or this melanin gives you a free pass, if you will, to violate, disrespect, play in my face and gaslight me, just like you claim the white man always does. But see, this is what bothers me about that, is that a leopard never changes spots. So if you think that that's what the white man already does because of white supremacy, then why are you continuing to do it to people that look like you? Why did you sit back for over 2 decades and watch the coup d'etat of George Gresham take shape? And nobody said anything until shit got hot for them and they got worried about their own standing at $11.99. That's what this really is. And again, people can say what they want to say, because see, no one ever asks, what got the nigga to the point that went postal that made him go postal. Because the people that go postal, that write their little thesis or whatever and blah, 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 that no one ever reads, they've never documented what the people are actually doing that sends them off. So instead of me going off because I'm tired of people wasting my time playing in my face, playing identity politics, blaming everything on the white man when it's fucking you, I'm just going to go to work now and I'm going to get that other half of the covenant that you never asked what was the price of admission. It's unfortunate, and I told you all, I could see what was happening and to stop. To which all of you admitted, yeah, these people did have an agenda. Or yeah, that person did have an agenda and we don't trust them. But every time I say, well, then why did you send these individuals my way? Radio silence. So if you can't be accountable for your actions and to yourself, where does that leave me? Because see, now you're making a liar and a hypocrite out of me, because I've always said transparency forces accountability. And if I blasted the white man all over the internet for doing the same things that you're doing now, I would be a hypocrite and a liar and a thief of the truth if I didn't hold you to the same standard that I'm holding myself and them to. And I've given everybody ample opportunity, because all you had to do was just answer my question. Why did you do this if you yourself saw what was going on? Why would you bring someone to my house? You want to get in here? Man, you want to get in? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, why would you bring individuals to my front door and ask for assistance when you yourself hadn't vetted them, but then act like you did? And then when I'm telling you that the mind's eye sees all, everybody wants to play dumb. And I use that word for a reason, because from an etymological standpoint, or word etymology, to be dumb is someone that lacks the ability to speak. And you all chose not to speak when I asked you, why are you doing this? You wasted my time. You wasted Kevin's time, who also made the sacrifice, because when I jumped out the window, this man didn't know me from a can of paint, but he stood on what was right. He jumped out the window right behind me with the parachute that I didn't have on my back. And he lost his job too. So while I was doing videos for you, as y'all played in my face and talked about all the receipts that you have that still haven't materialized, that could literally blow the lid off this shit and close it out for all of us, I'm going back and forth to court. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share it with your peers. This video is going to be just a brief snapshot in what birthright citizens go through in the HRA process. For those of you that don't know, I lost my job in April because I was a delegate for 1199 who refused to represent me when I decided to be a whistleblower and let the state know exactly what was going on at NYU Langone. It cost me my job. I'm not complaining one bit, because I'm still out here fighting the fight. But I want people to see, because we all just witnessed what the last administration did to our so-called sanctuary cities.
11.
Okay.
There is no need for anyone to go there now and uplift the money, because it's not forward, it is medium short. So I am going to process the difference. Upon completion and the checks are sent there, you would then have to bring your portion, and then they will collect all the monies and restore it.
Okay. When will they tell me to drop off my portion?
Well, therefore, I don't know when they will tell you, because I got the email with the stuff for you today.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can get to that before I leave.
All right.
And once I get to that, they will get process, and then they will send the payment to the Browns court. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hope. I appreciate it. All right.
But those checks have not been replaced. So he was supposed to send a request for that. But he did the marshal and legal fees, and he had done the case before. Did he provide you with an email or a phone number?
When I tell you...
You always got to get that information before you hang up.
Well, no, I tried to get... Actually, I do have a phone number for him. I'm just telling you, the process.
You got to find out whether or not he made a request.
Here, I can...
Those checks to be replaced. Let me check and you see if there's anything in your file.
I can call the number for you if you want.
Good
Yes. This is Mr. Hope? Yes, this is Hamadi Scruggs. I spoke to you last week. I'm at the HRA office at the Bronx Court.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Hope.
Yeah,
This is Figueroa with RAU. How you doing?
I'm good at you.
I'm good, thank you. I'm looking at Mr. Scruggs' case, and I see that he was approved, I believe, for martial and legal. But there's checks that were issued back in November, which are now still dated because they turned in 6 months as of yesterday. When the approval for the 4790 was done, but there were
So, those checks, as he just said, were still dated because they've been sitting in the Bronx Court HRA office since the 3rd of November 2025. But let me show you how this interaction, after I've explained, now remember, she's been sitting in the room listening to the whole conversation because she's going to say that she knows how to multitask.
But there's checks that were issued back in November, which are now still dated because they turned in 6 months as of yesterday. When the approval for the 4790 was done, was there a request for the replacement or no?
No, there was never a request for the replacement because no one knew those checks went still. Because when I spoke to him, because they assigned that case to him, when I reviewed it, I saw it was a Bronx case. I made contact with Ms. Greenaway. She told me.
So he was able to locate where the checks were at the whole time when I was given the runaround. He knows the date that they were issued. Most checks are what, 180 days? And you know the processes and protocols of the institution you should work for, correct, sir? Or that you work for. You should know these, correct? So he didn't know that the checks were still dated, even though he called me and told me where they were and what was going on. But let him continue.
The checks were that they were in last week.
Right.
So you probably would have to just probably have
The checks will go
how
to
are you
you.
replace the checks?
Yeah, no.
No.
I thought, that should have been done at that time because they already expired. All right, I'll speak to the supervisor see how it's best to do it.
He told me,
We're gonna have to make a request for them to replace the other checks.
but he told me Wednesday he did that. He told me that he was going to do that before close of business, so that when I came to court on Thursday, it would already be here.
Yeah, no. The only thing that is here is just a check for 4790.50 that we have.
No, I understand.
Replacements, yeah.
It's just a little
We have to
frustration
make-
because
of course, I understand.
I know I'm not the only person dealing with this, and the man just lied. And if I didn't do my own due diligence of what I've been doing for the last year, since I lost my job with NYU fighting as a delegate, doing what I'm supposed to do, nobody would believe it. But everyone just lies and kicks the can down the road. So for the last month, I've been out of my apartment because of mistakes of others. I understand that. I put myself into the situation. I understand that. But in the process of doing I did everything that they asked me when they asked me to do it.
Yeah,
It
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying you get upset, but don't let it continue from there because this is where we are now. We're just going to work it out from here. All right? So let me just give you this.
And I understand that. That's why I'm just speaking to you the way I'm speaking. But the reason I'm saying this,
Yeah.
the reason I'm saying
it
it,
is there because look at the dates. They were brought in on the 3rd. I'm trying to find how far back they were.
what about the people that aren't like myself, that don't have the resolve or don't know how to figure out how to fix the situation, that get swallowed up in the system? This is why people go crazy and do dumb things, because they feel like they're being played with by a system that we all, October of 2025.
So why did it take you so long to come here to find out about the check?
You see? You see how she's getting mad now?
I'm not getting mad.
Ma'am,
but
you don't- you're not seeing yourself? I just explained it to him. And if you would have listened, since you want to be so nasty about it,
I multitask.
Well, then you would have heard when I explained to him that I've been following up since October, and I was lied to. Well, because I went to HRA and. Now remember, this was Monday. I found out on Wednesday that the checks had been there in that office the whole time. No one ever mentioned that office to me until Wednesday when Mr. Hope from the Brooklyn court said, "Oh, we've located the checks." But let's proceed. You see? You see how she's getting mad now?
I'm not getting mad.
Ma'am, you're not seeing yourself. I just explained it to him. And if you would have listened, since you want to be so nasty about it, well then, you would have heard when I explained to him that I've been following up since October, and I was lied to. Well, because I went to HRA and
You didn't answer my question already. Good morning. How can I help you?
You see? You see this, right?
No, what it is she's trying to tell you is...
No, but she didn't listen to what I asked to say, because I explained to you every step of the way what happened, and this is why I'm documenting it. Because this is what's... And this is what happens in this system, because people don't care and they think they can talk to people who pay their salary any way they want. But it's all good. Oh, I've been paying taxes since I was 15. I've been paying taxes since I was 15.
Exactly, and I pay them too.
So then guess what? Part of my taxes go to paying your salary, ma'am. So thank you. Worry about your client and mind your business, because you're going to very soon become famous. No, check her. Check her. You see this, right? These are your employees, but don't worry about it. I'm going to make sure that all this information gets to the proper place.
That's me too. My name is Miss Collum. C-O-L-L-U-M. Don't miss it.
Oh,
C-O-L-L-U-M. Don't miss it. C-O-L-L-U-M. Don't miss it.
Oh, I definitely won't. Thank you so much. And Kevin kept saying, "Yo, stop telling these people your business." Nah, bro. I'm revealing the method, because I want them to know just how much I had to sacrifice and what I had to go through. And I told everybody what these people at NYU, what Ashby and everyone else did, and I showed you the receipts. And you all decided to turn right around and fuck me too. So when I ask you why are you doing these things and all you do is ignore me, it infuriates me more. And then now you put me in a position where I have no choice but to be transparent and force accountability. But oddly enough, like I said, when I was getting up this morning, getting ready for the day, there's a cat on Instagram, the bald white dude, make it make sense. He was here at Trinity Church, and
I'm looking, so you got Trinity Church. I'm looking, I'm like, what is this guy doing right here? Is that a guy taking down a dinosaur? No, it's a dragon. Weathered. Damn right. Trinity Church. Sound off. This makes sense? Weathered, dragon slayer, outside this old church. Come on, man. Right next to these people, right? This is normal. Same timeline, right? This makes sense to who? Is there any Roman people in the world? Did Uncle Pasquale do any of this? Sound off, man. Make it make sense. Trinity Church. Weathered dinosaur slayer. On a beautiful day in Manhattan, man.
I was watching it this morning on my morning cup of Bustelo and my wake up smoke. And then as I come to the hearing today, I walk right past Trinity Church. I said, synchronicity, or just one of those strange coincidences. But as I was watching this is what I was thinking about. Signs and symbols. To some people it means nothing, but to me it means everything. And my word is always my bond. And there's one thing that can nobody ever say. You can never call me a liar. I've always been truthful and stood on the truth. And the problem is also for the other people who have put themselves on the line to assist in this, you putting them in precarious situations because you're playing this fucking game. People can be mad. Again, not my cross to bear. You knew what you did when you was doing what you're doing. And again, I warned everyone to stop playing in my face. I'm gonna get up out of here. It is what it is, man. Y'all be safe out there. Because now we gotta regroup and recalibrate because the fight is not over. It's just that now I have to show people all they working with is opposite wings of the same bird. The bird is the predator and y'all are the prey. And until you address the 57% situation and take back control and power of your union, your contracts are going to continue to get progressively worse and worse and worse and worse. And as of just like right now, how none of the institutions actually recognize or adhere to the CBA, that's also going to get worse and worse and worse. Get out your feelings, deal with the facts, and move accordingly. And learn to read the room just as I read the room. But yeah, it is what it is. Get the fuck up out of here. Now remember, keep your eyes to the stars, keep that head on a swivel, and transparency forces accountability. If you can't be accountable for your own actions and be true to who you are, you can't get mad when someone exposes you for being a fraud because you violated their sovereignty.